Hey friends, imagine the company you're applying in pays average of $85,000 a year. Sounds decent, right? But what if I told you that 9 out of 10 employees actually earns only 30,000 and the CEO of the company actually earns $800,000 a year. So the average 85,000 is technically correct, but it's completely misleading, right? So this is where we need to understand the importance of central tendency, mean, median, and mode, and more importantly, when each of them should use. So when you have a data set, could be salaries, test scores, or temperature, or anything. So you are often staring at hundreds of thousands of rows and all of that data without making any sense. To make good sense of data, there is a value in the middle of the data that best describes the whole group, right? So this is where understanding central tendency is important. There are three things in it: mean, median, and mode. And you have to understand where each of them is actually used. So let's start with the mean, what most people call the average as well. So average is just you add all the numbers, divide by their quantity. That's as simple as it. But the most important thing that you have to understand is mean works best when the data is balanced. I repeat, mean works best when the data is balanced. If the data is skewed, if there are extreme values, if there are outliers, the average pulls in into the one direction. If the data is extremely high, the value becomes extremely high, which is actually misleading, which should not happen. For example, as earlier I gave you the example of, let's say, 10 employees working in. There are 9 employees and one CEO. And 9 employees earn only 30,000, CEO make $800,000. So the average is $85,000. And nobody in the group earns actually $85,000, which is actually misleading, right? This is where mean should not be used. So what I said so far, mean works the best when the data is balanced, not skewed, meaning there's no outlier. There should not exist extreme values. Okay, this is the most important point you have to understand in mean. And that's where the median comes in. Median is just the middle value. Half the values are above it and half are below it, right? So coming back to the similar example, let's remove CEO for a second. Let's assume there are only 9 employees working in a company, each one earn only 30,000. So the median is 30,000, right? Which is correct. Now let's add the CEO now, who earns $800,000. So even if we add the CEO, the mean, or sorry, the median is going to be the same. So here the median is not going to mislead us, while the mean actually misled us. So here using median actually serves our purpose. Using median is actually better than using mean. Now the mode. Mode is just the most frequently occurring value in a dataset. Mode does not do math, it just counts the value. I repeat, it doesn't do math, it just counts the value. And it is not as useful as mean and median for the numerical dataset. It's not as useful as mean or median for the numerical dataset. It is mostly used for the categorical data. For example, if there are 7 oranges, 2 apples, and 3 bananas. So 7 oranges is the mode, right? Now you can't calculate mean or median of these, okay? Because they are different fruits. So using mean or median here doesn't serve our purpose at all, which is actually wrong. Using mode here is actually correct. So mode is mostly used for the categorical value. For the numerical value, it's not that much useful. So summing up, the most important points I told you are: use mean when the data is balanced, not skewed. If data doesn't have outliers, use mean on that place. If data has outliers, if data has extreme values, the mean is actually misleading because data is pulled towards one direction, right? And use median when data is even it's balanced or even it's not. When you have to find the middle value, use median. Even if the data is skewed, using median is perfectly fine. In terms of salary, using median is actually better than using mean because there might exist some employees that earns the most, so which will be as outliers, right? So data will be pulled in one direction, which might mislead us. And also for the mode, it is the most repeated value. It doesn't do any math, it counts the value. It's mostly used for the categorical data. For the numerical data, the mean and median are mostly used. The mode is not that much important. Thank you very much.